Everyone's surprised, some are even dismayed, in Europe and beyond. Yes, Boris Johnson is Britain's new Foreign Secretary. There's a tendency to see Boris, as he's universally known, as a bit of a joke, and you can see why.
Get me a ladder!
But Britain's new top diplomat, a journalist and former mayor of London, is not always known for diplomatic language. He recently wrote an obscene poem about the Turkish president. He described Hillary Clinton as a sadistic nurse in a mental hospital. He suggested Barack Obama harbored an ancestral dislike of Britain, implying this was because of his part Kenyan heritage. He said the problem with Africa is not that we, meaning the British, were once in charge, but that we are not in charge anymore. European governments distrust Boris Johnson because he played a prominent role in the campaign for Britain to leave the EU. A campaign, they say, full of untruths and distortions.
He lied a lot to the British people, and now he's the one with his back to the wall as he defends his country.
But at least on day one, Boris was being diplomatic about Britain's near neighbours.
On Europe, clearly we have to give effect to the will of the people in the referendum, but that does not mean in any sense leaving Europe. There's a massive difference between leaving the EU and our relations with Europe, which, if anything, I think are going to be intensified.
A friend of Boris Johnson told me the new Foreign Secretary is often misjudged.
He's extremely clever. He speaks 4 languages. He was largely brought up in Brussels because his father was an MEP, a Tory MEP. He was even born in New York because his father worked for the World Bank. For someone who seems so quintessentially English, in fact, he's very, very cosmopolitan.
Boris Johnson as Foreign Minister is a risky appointment by Theresa May. Already her opponents say it shows she's not finely attuned to international opinion. But she's made sure that all the ministries that will play a key role in Brexit are led by politicians who wanted Britain to leave the EU. So, should this process run into difficulty, nobody can accuse her of having put uncommitted people in charge. Barnaby, Phillips, Al Jazeera, Westminster in central London.